Nicholas Montez, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Nicholas Montez. Welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the new releases that I saw in February because it is now March 5th and I'm very late. So let's go ahead and get started ranking all 5 movies. Yes, I only saw 5 movies in February. And I finally can do a monthly ranking because January I wasn't able to do one because I only saw 2 movies. But today we're doing a ranking of all 5 February movies I saw, from the worst to the best. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and say, I don't really think this month was really bad for films. I would say every single film on this list was good. And this movie in particular was not exactly a bad movie. It was actually pretty good. And to kick things off, let's just start off by saying, this was an overall good movie. It told a story that I thought felt realistic, and it was based off a true story, so it didn't feel like a blockbuster just turned into a movie. No, it actually felt like something real. And, you know, the fact that this girl had this passion to cross this entire ocean, it's just kind of great. I think the reason why it's in last place is I feel like something had to come in last place. But overall, the movie was actually really good. Now we have Your Place or Mine, and honestly, I thought this was a nice little film that starred, I think it was Amy Poehler, or is that Reese Witherspoon? I always get confused by them because their voices or their appearance just looks so familiar. Yeah, it's Reese Witherspoon. Yep. But basically, you know, the movie story itself, the way that it tells its story, yeah, it could be a little bit weird because, you know, they're going to different places, but all their talks are through phones, and it's not really, like, doing a good relationship, but at the same time, it still kind of works. You still like the chemistry, and you still like the story, and overall, it was a nice little movie. Now, this was a film that I was actually curious about because I kept seeing Anthony Mackie and what's his name? David Harbour post about this on their Instagram, and I'm like, what is this We Have a Ghost film? And I started looking it up, and I'm like, oh, so David Harbour's a ghost, and Anthony Mackie is, like, in charge of this family, and overall, I thought it was actually a nice little film. Granted, it kind of sucks to have David Harbour in a film where he doesn't speak, and he's just a ghost and he just makes noises. But, you know, the other characters themselves I thought were fun. Anthony Mackie was, of course, charismatic as ever. And it had a nice blend of, you know, action, humor, horror. Well, while you didn't really feel scared of it, you still felt kind of, you know, the funny vibes to it. It was still kind of funny. And you also did have a nice little backstory for David Harbour's character, so I thought it was a nice little film. Now, to me, I feel weird including this movie in a ranking because I didn't technically see this movie in theaters. I actually bootlegged it and I saw it online. I feel kind of wrong for including this movie in this list, but I had to. And I had to watch it bootleg because I cannot miss an MCU film that, like, you can't, it's like saying you can't eat or drink you can't drink. I need water. I need Marvel movies. Whenever a new Marvel movie comes out, I gotta go see that movie. And to be clear, I thought this film was a nice little fun film. Obviously, the two standouts here is The World of the Quantum Realm and Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror. You know, the Quantum Realm just has this very Star Wars-y feel to it, while at the same time being its kind of unique thing that doesn't feel like Star Wars, but also feels like Avatar, but its own unique thing. And I love all the way they designed the characters, the way they kind of did certain characters, and even then going back to Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, I thought his character was great. I thought the story they chose with him in this movie was great, where why exactly is included with the Janet storyline? Obviously, makes sense why he's here because time, Janet Van Dyne was there in the quantum realm for 30 years, so she obviously knew him. But what makes a great part to the story is that he has this time chair that he can travel across the entire multiverse with, and you have this little core thing to power it. And if that gets powered up, he's gonna be able to get out of the quantum realm and kill so many people. And when Janet saw that, she was like, I can't let this happen. So she gets all the pin particles, shrinks it, and basically tries to get it. And then basically, and when you have Scott Lang trying to do that in the film, once he kind of announces it, it's like, you understand why he needs him. Because he needs pin particles to get the core out. And I think that was a nice little story that they created. And then, of course, all the action and the humor, it still kind of does work. It gets kind of frustrating, though, because while I had a bit of fun with this movie, I feel like they could have done more. Like, you still could have done the quantum realm, but added that stuff that you love about MCU films, where you add these badass characters. Take inspiration from Star Wars. Do something of that and create something unique with it. Obviously, these characters aren't going to be the same as, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, but you still could have given these characters arcs, where it's like they're just trying to get out of there while beating up these robots and making jokes. That's really the whole movie. No character has any specific character arc. And then even the worst part of the movie, MODOK was easily the worst character used. I just thought that when you look from him as a sidekick to Kang, he just looks so weird. First, his design is weird, even though he looks so comic book accurate. I've never seen something that looks so weird, but something so right at all. It's so weird to me. But overall, and the fact that he, of course, I laughed at his jokes all the time, but I just could not get over his look, and it did not look good standing next to Kang. The movie does make me excited for a fourth Ant-Man film. It does give me hope for a fourth Ant-Man film. It does get me excited for Loki Season 2 in Avengers Kang Dynasty. But besides that, the movie is pretty good, just has a lot of issues, though. Now, this was a film that I was so blown away by. And I feel like that I just love these stories of these families who have these bad backstories with these people that they know that come back into their life, interact with their kids, and kind of messes up the kid's head. And it's really an interesting story when you think about it, because it's like, you have this guy that like hangs out with him, but then even in the way that the movie is directed, when you have all this music in the background in certain scenes, it's like you feel the suspense. When dad punches the guy, you feel the danger in it. You feel the intensity of it. And even when it's like the son gets mad and he like starts slamming the door, or he pushes his dad away, it's like, that's crazy, man. It's crazy. And overall, the film was well acted. It told a great story, and it's like you can feel that that this guy is trying to split the family apart. And it was such an overall well executed film. It was one of my favorite films of this year. Behind another film we'll talk about in just a little bit, but overall, I loved this movie. So that's my ranking of all the February films that I saw in 2023. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the About section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.